Hello everyone, and welcome back to Expletives Included. We're doing another Steven Universe Rewatch Podcast, and let's jump straight into episode 33, Garnet's Universe.
This episode first aired November 13th, 2014, written by Joe Johnson, Jeff Liu, and directed by Ian Jones Quarterly. So, this episode begins with one of my favourite moments in all of Steven Universe.
It's the moment where
Garnet.
It's the moment where we realise that Steven has ninja training.
Yep. I assume he got it from Amethyst.
Because he's not very good at it?
Yes. Exactly that. Garnet warps into the temple with a bubbled gem floating around her.
Which is a bit
And
odd,
she called-
because... sorry for talking over you, but... Because usually whenever they bubble gems, they just kind of boop, and it goes to the temple. But she kind of brings it back in the bubble.
Well, we have seen them do this before.
But not very often.
I assume there's like areas of thalamic interference where they can't boop things.
I think it's probably just personal preference.
Yeah. Garnet probably wanted to show it off to Steven.
Possibly, because the first thing she does when she comes through is like call out his name.
She does look for him. So she walks out as of kind of looking around going, "I know you're here, Steven." And you just hear Steven giggling.
Because
And
he's a
then
great ninja.
she's attacked from above with a Steven bomb.
I did write down that he says Steven Bomb.
Yep.
Is this the first instance of the term Steven Bomb?
Yep.
Because I think it might
It
change
is
in
the
meaning.
origin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's something you shout before getting a lot of Steven.
Let's move on quickly before I start making jokes.
I'd like to note that Steven jumps onto Garnet's head, and he kind of sort of bounces in her hair.
Which is a nice bit of visual humour that I enjoyed.
I imagine her fro is very comfy.
I imagine it would be.
And you know, that they kind of play around. Sort of Steven saying he's got Garnet and covers her eyes and that she's blind.
Yes, and she claims that tiny hands are her only weakness.
Yeah.
I remember this
And
joke
this
when it
whole
was... I remember this joke when it was in Nuclear Power, which is an old webcomic that's... It was a sprite comic. It's quite old. It's finished now. It kind of did its run, and the creator started doing other projects that I'm not sure if he's actually doing anymore. But...
Like all sprite comics.
Well, I think most sprite comics never actually go anywhere. This ran for at least 1,000 comics and actually did kind of have a complete story. But this is one part where they're...
Yeah.
Oh, say again?
But didn't 8-Bit Theatre do that?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, 8-Bit Theatre.
I thought you said Nuclear Power.
Nuclear Power was the website, but 8-Bit Theatre was like the name of the comic.
Oh, I see. I never read it.
There's this one part where they're fighting a dragon, and there's the dragoon, and it kind of plunges a spear through the brain of the dragon, and he says, "Ah, a spear through my brain, my only weakness." And that's just a joke that's kind of stayed with me. It's probably my second favourite joke from the comic, and I just love it whenever I kind of see anything that's kind of similar to that. This is a lot more innocent than a spear through the brain, but it's just, tiny hands, my one weakness.
You're kind of misrepresenting how Garnet says it, but yeah.
I am, very much so.
Yeah. You know, this is probably one of the cutest sequences in all of Steven Universe. And as our listeners may or may not know, I love me some cute things. And this is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think the whole episode's quite adorable, to be honest.
Especially when you sort of think of it outside of the episode, because this bit is a narrative frame.
Yeah, Stephen starts kind of telling a story, and the story itself isn't that cute, but just if you kind of think about Stephen telling it, then it is.
Yeah, because Garnet sort of picks Stephen up from her mighty afro and is holding him in front of her. Kind of as you would hold a small child to talk to them face to face.
Mm-hmm.
Which he is. Basically, Stephen sees the gem and sort of asks, well, what did you do today? And Garnet's like, what do you think I did today?
And then we get the introduction to Garnet's Universe by Steven Universe of Steven Universe and Universal Industries.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But so then we sort of shift style and it's a lot more simplistic and anime-esque.
I'm not sure if I'd say the style is very anime, but
I don't know. All of the characters
story
are.
I don't know. To me, it does seem like very much Western cartoon in design and everything.
Really?
Well, I don't know, because... Well, yeah, but there are bits, but... I don't know, I guess it's just... I've been watching a lot of modern anime at the moment, and it is all... The art style is basically kind of generic. There are always kind of parts where it's... You think, oh wow, this is not like other anime, or like this part is like really good animation, but... For the most part, it's... Everyone kind of looks the same. It's only when they're doing like their special set pieces that you really see differences between the animation styles. And although it is kind of very much set in kind of that old kind of Japanese kind of style where just like with the trees, with the mountains, the backgrounds, it's very kind of heavily Japanese influenced. It seems like a Saturday morning cartoon type thing. With like very simplistic design and all that.
I mean, we can discuss the problems of modern anime another time. I mean, I completely agree with you that there's a big problem of all anime looking the same these days. But I think this does go back to sort of older anime. It sort of, especially sort of the sort of more kiddie anime from like the 70s and 80s.
Okay, thinking about it, I might agree with you, but only in like... So, basically what I'm thinking of, essentially, is it Magic Knight Grey Earth? Where it does kind of have that anime style, but every so often it goes very kind of cartoony, it goes very simplistic, when they're just kind of yelling and screaming, and you have like the kind of high emotion, like, when the animation is... Yeah, when the animation goes very chibi, it is quite similar to that.
And they have like the emoticons in the air for the emotions and that kind of stuff in this. I mean,
and actually there is like there are one or two parts where they just kind of like have the faces, and then they have like hiragana or katakana, just kind of sound effects or kind of cute or power or strong or something, and it's I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, there are bits where they include Korean as well.
I think it was hiragana or katakana, but I was just guessing and I didn't properly recognise it, so that we might be talking about the same scene. It might have just been Korean and I just didn't realise.
It's after Garnet's training sequence.
I think it is, yeah. I just assumed. Sorry.
You pitiful gaijin, you.
I'm not a gaijin. I don't even know what that is. I'm a weeaboo.
Means foreigner.
Fair enough. That works too.
Yeah. No. I will lambast you for not knowing the various Asian scripts at a later date.
Probably when we start talking about anime.
Yes, the other podcast we'll be doing.
But something which I wanted to state about this kind of simplistic artwork, I think... I can't remember what bit it is, I've just kind of got Vic's hair written down. I think it's like after she comes out of the teleporter, and her hair is just kind of a bit wobbly, and she just kind of straightens it out into the proper afro shape. And just imagine just kind of Steven like saying, and then Garnet comes out of the teleporter, but the teleporter made her hair go funny, and then she straightened it up, and it all looked perfect again. And just looking at Garnet the entire time.
Well, I kind of imagine he's kind of like looking at his hands, like ticking things off as he does. That's what he kind of does when he goes through stories, as I remember.
I think so. I can picture it in my mind.
And also he'd always refer to her as you,
Mm.
because he's directly telling her what happened in her day.
Yeah.
So Garnet goes through the teleporter and is beset by Hopper.
Yes, the bomb ninja.
Yes, who is a frog. Like the one from Chrono Trigger.
Yes, except the one from Chrono Trigger has a big-ass sword.
Well, you can't have two characters with a sword, because quickly after that...
Oh yes, we get Hoppy.
Who is literally Usagi Yojimbo.
I can't remember who that is. Just like
Rabbit
the Yojimbo
Samurai.
films.
No, the Rabbit Samurai.
There's a Rabbit Samurai?
You seriously don't know Usagi Yojimbo?
I don't think so. I might do. You know how bad I am with names.
It's literally a cartoony rabbit samurai.
I don't think
It's been going forever.
I don't think so. I probably have seen it, but I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm a dirty gaiju?
It's one of those gaijin.
Gaijin.
It's one of those ubiquitous animes that's always been around. I think it was sort of one of the big ones in the early 90s, so the same time Sailor Moon came out.
No, I just didn't see it, I guess.
Okay. It's actually released over here, at least, by Dark Horse.
They do a lot of good kind of anime stuff, or at least a lot of good manga.
Well, they sort of re-release a lot of stuff. I mean, they released most of Clamp's stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
At least at one point. I think they've shuffled release people by now. So anyway, Hoppy and Hopper decide that they must train with Garnet.
Well, no, they're like saying, it's like, you've been training, you're much stronger, but we can always get stronger still, in true anime fashion.
Yep.
We need to do more training.
And then, Garnet states that Stephen is her most favourite person in the world.
Yes. I can't remember why she brings it up this time.
She says she must hurry for there's someone at home who needs her. And Hopper's like, who's that? It's like, Garnet replies, he's my most favourite person in the world.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, have you told him about us? It's like, no, he's not ready to know that I have secret animal friends.
Yeah. And then we meet Ringo.
Yes, who is Ronaldo.
Yeah, I should note that Hoppy and Hopper are also Amethyst and Pearl, but reversed.
How so?
Their personalities. So the Slavish one is done by Pearl's voice actress.
I did wonder if they used the same voice actresses, but I don't know, I couldn't really discern. I couldn't recognise them.
Yeah.
I was obviously too distracted by the fact that one was a frog and one was a rabbit.
Yeah, I only noticed it on my second or third viewing. Also, the narration at the end of the episode is done by Stephen's voice actor.
I thought it did sound similar to Stephen's voice actor, but it is, again, it's very different to Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, Ringo is very much Ronaldo.
Ringo is just Ronaldo. There is no hiding it. There's...
Well, I like to believe that's that voice actor's actual voice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Ringo presents himself as the humble caretaker of the shrine atop yonder mountain,
Mm-hmm.
where rests a sacred magic gem of ultimate power.
The sacred magic gem of ultimate power.
Yes, of magical destiny.
That was... that was at the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny.
Yeah, these are some old memes.
I think this was a meme before there were memes.
Well,
It's
let's see,
bad
Dawkins
flash
released his book
animation.
Well, Dawkins released his book on memes in 2004.
Yeah, but he wasn't actually talking about internet memes, I don't think.
Yeah, but that's the origin of the name. He coined the term meme.
Did he coin the term, or did he just popularise it?
I think he coined it.
Hmm.
But of course it's Dawkins, so he will say he coined it.
He's not arrogant. What are you trying to say, Keir?
That if I say much more, he will jump through my window and beat me with a stick.
Please, he's far too refined for that. It would be some kind of cane or...
It's, you know, it's like that episode of Futurama with Stephen Hawking.
I can't remember that. Doesn't he hear quite
You
a
know, the
lot
one
as
with
a
Gary
talking head?
This is the one where, with Gary Gygax, Al Gore, and Nichelle Nichols as well.
I don't. I would have remembered Gary Gygax. I didn't see this episode.
Really?
There's a
It's
lot
one of the best
Futurama.
ones.
I haven't seen a lot of Futurama.
It's the one with the what if machine.
I think I remember the What If machine, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm sending you a link to this episode once we're done with this. Your education is incomplete, sir.
Yeah, I know. It's just Futurama is one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is cool. I enjoy it. And then everybody, literally everybody is like, oh my god, Dan, watch this. Do this, do this, do this. Watch this. Why haven't you watched it yet? God damn it, Dan. What are you doing, Dan? Watch this. And it's like, I don't wanna. And if I was just left to my own
better
devices...
things to do with your life?
It just really puts me off of like TV shows when everyone's just telling me to do it like 24/7. That's the reason why I haven't finished watching Community yet.
I bet you haven't finished the Gravity Falls yet either.
Oh, actually, I have finished Gravity Falls, but only recently.
Really? You've watched the Stanchurian Candidate?
The what?
The latest episode?
When was that released?
Last week?
Maybe not. I think the last one I saw was the D&D episode, or the D&D.
Yeah.
The Dungeons, and more dungeons.
Yeah. They had a few good jokes, but that was kind of a failure as an episode, I thought.
It wasn't great, but I liked the introduction of Ford as like a main character.
Hmm. And there was the joke about 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons was very funny.
Was that the 80s or the 90s one where they tried to make it hip? Dark times. We're getting far from the point. What was the point you were making with? You were making a point about Stephen Hawking. So let's go back.
Yeah, there was Stephen Hawking, then memes, then...
Well, no, because we were talking about Richard Dawkins, and then you said something about...
yeah,
we were talking about Dawkins. You said something about Stephen Hawking, but we didn't discern what it was.
Oh, in that episode, Stephen Hawking is claiming everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they find a cryogenic tube, and he's like, I call it a Hawking chamber. It's funny in context.
Mm-hmm.
He does it throughout the entire. He does it throughout the entire episode and keeps claiming things Fry did as his own.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of saying, "Who are they going to believe?"
Yeah, that's fair. And then we were talking about memes because we were talking about the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny because we were talking about the sacred magic gem of ultimate power.
Yes, it all comes full circle. A very uncertain.
The ring is complete.
Yes, but sadly there are many more rings. 5 rings to be specific.
Some kind of legend surrounding them.
Mm. And a series
we're
of
tangenting again. We've just got back on point.
But The tangents.
No,
So shiny.
we're talking about
So shiny.
we're talking about the fox who stole the gem from
Who
Ringo.
Yes. And Garnet will not stand for this. So she vows to aid Ringo.
By punching things.
Yep.
So she goes up the mountain.
And
punch
the
things.
Foxman's power levels are off the charts.
Ah, no, they're 70,000.
Are they?
It was 70,000, but they were really hoppy high,
Ah,
I think.
I can't remember. Anyway,
Garnet gets defeated.
defeated.
And then I think, is it Hoppy, the bunny ninja? Because she's like, well, some of them are just like, we need to train because this is an anime.
Yep.
Although the style might be argued, it's definitely an anime.
Yeah, it's a training montage basically
Mm-hmm.
under a waterfall,
Mm-hmm. Well,
as all good training montages
Hoppy
should
and
be.
Garnet are kind of doing the training under the waterfall, whereas Ringo is just taking a bath.
And I think he's having his lunch.
Possibly.
But anyway, we see sort of huge gauntlet smashes, punches from Garnet, which looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, because she's like, her training is that she makes like gauntlets like really pretty huge. Like I'd say at least 10 times. Each gauntlet is at least 10 times the size of Garnet.
Hmm.
She kind of punches up in the air, which increases her power levels by 10 with each punch. But she only kind of does it
and then
once
she does,
or twice, and then she gets too weak and it's too much. She can't do it, and then she's reminded to like do it for Stephen.
Yeah, and then she does the Fist of the North Star 1,000 punch thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then this breaks the scouter.
Yep. And numbers no longer have meaning.
Mm-hmm. Her power level was infinity, I believe, before it exploded.
Hmm. If I remember correctly, they never go to 9,000 though in this episode, which I respect them for.
It's an easy joke, which, before you said that, I was going to try and place in here somewhere.
I didn't say we were better than that. I'm just saying they were better than that.
So, well, yeah, but we've lampshaded it now. We've pointed it out. We can't just kind of go, whoop, 70,000. Is that more than 9,000? It just wouldn't work.
No.
We can discuss it like this, but we can kind of actually try to put it in the actual discussion.
Though to be fair, we wouldn't be able to make a successful joke out of it anyway.
That's true. Maybe this is better.
This is as close as we get to making a joke.
We reference other people's jokes. Remember that joke that other person made that one time? With the dragons and the spear and the brain?
Yeah. I believe this is what they call internet humour.
So, yeah, we're not actually doing anything. We're just stealing from other people.
Yes.
Yes.
We are referencing the dankest of memes.
We did talk about memes as well.
Anyway, so Garnet returns to defeat the Foxman.
Mm-hmm. Which she does.
Yeah. With her massive fists. But Ringo had tricked them and claimed the sacred gem of ultimate power.
Because Ringo was evil the whole time. And actually the fox was the
Yes.
guardian of the shrine.
Which is more classical. So, Ringo turns the Foxman into an onion ring.
Of course, because rings.
And then he transports them to the Ringo Zone.
Which is just a zone full of rings. Just a bit weird.
Yeah, I imagine Sonic hangs out here a lot. But yeah, he's basically like, once I defeat you, I'll destroy the planet.
But first I'm just gonna chill.
You know, because...
It's like, you can try to defeat me. I will find it amusing.
Yes. So, Hoppy and Hopper are easily defeated.
Mm-hmm. And Garnet's like, dude, this is getting serious. I'm going to need to take off my hair.
She takes off her weighted training hair.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very funny gag.
It is.
And then she basically beats the snot out of Ringo. Takes the ring.
Actually, no. She gets defeated as well.
Oh, yes, she does. That's when we have the "I'm sorry, Stephen, I wasn't strong enough" moment, isn't it?
Yep. And then kind of Ringo is gloating and he kind of steals the photo of Garnet and Stephen. And then he burns it with his power crystal.
Yes. Well, didn't he turn it into an onion ring as well?
He turns it into an... Oh, actually, does he burn it or does he turn it into an onion ring and eat it? I think he eats it because then we get like that disgusting close-up of him eating with his mouth open.
Oh, yeah. That's horrible.
They do that way too much in this show.
Mainly with Amethyst, though, so...
So what? We give them points for being disgusting with someone else?
Well, you know, with Amethyst it's a character trait. Otherwise it's just disgusting.
But yes, then we get a still heart awoken by anger, and Garnet goes Super Saiyan. Her hair grows back, her actual hair, I think, which goes pink instead of blonde. And
well, you know.
But then kind of like everything goes pink, doesn't it? I think it's like a just kind of tinting of...
Well, the Saiyan energies are always yellow.
Super Saiyan ones are, yes. Well, it depends.
So I think all of...
Kakarot, I think usually it's blue, but when he's using the Kaioken it's red, but when he's Super Saiyan it's yellow. And I think
I
actually
think Super Saiyan
Broly, usually his kind of energy kind of displayed as green even. And I think Trunks was possibly purple at some points.
I haven't got that far in the series.
I never actually watched any Broly, but I've kind of played games, like the Budokai Tenkaichi tournament games.
I only watched the abridged series.
Do you mean like Dragon Ball Abridged or Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Dragon Ball Abridged.
Because I've watched Dragon Ball Z Kai, which only kind of deals with the with like Vegeta Saga, Frieza Saga, and Cell Saga. It doesn't do anything with Buu, which is apparently a very important part of the series.
So it only does what Dragon Ball Abridged does anyway.
Well, Dragon Ball Abridged hasn't got that far yet.
They're in the middle of the Cell Saga right now.
Yeah, but they're probably going to go on to Buu Saga as well. I've been told that if I want to start watching Dragon Ball Super, which is like the new one which is coming out at the moment, I need to completely ignore Dragon Ball GT and just kind of watch Dragon Ball Z and make sure that I've watched the Buu Saga, because that's the important part.
Yeah.
I think maybe Dragon Ball GT has been ignored from canon. I'm not sure.
Weirdly, I've only watched Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT.
Well, I've seen a decent bit of Dragon Ball, and then I've read again like a decent chunk of the manga. I think I've got like the first 8 books or so, but I've also played like the Game Boy Advance game, which was really good. It was a really fun kind of side-scrolling beat-em-up, and that kind of goes through the entire story in quite a simplified way. So I know kind of what happens.
Okay. Well, yeah, I watched and read Dragon Ball and watched a smattering of GT. So I missed the good one, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But to be honest, at this point, I don't think the show itself, Dragon Ball Z, would be as good as Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I don't know. I would say watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. I think it's better. I think that Dragon Ball Abridged has kind of gone downhill. Like if you look at when they did Dragon Ball Z Kai Abridged, and then immediately after watch Dragon Ball Z Kai Abridged 2, then it just pales in comparison. It's just nowhere near as good.
I've never watched those ones. I recently watched the Trunks saga, or whatever it's called.
I'm not sure if I've seen that one yet, but I do remember seeing like a live action version of it that was pretty cool.
It was the Trunks movie abridged, basically. And that was really funny. And of course, I will never be able to look at Mr. Popo right.
Is there a right way to look at Mr. Popo?
With fear and respect. Mainly fear.
Is that not how you look at it now? It's fear and respect, but mainly fear? After watching Dragon Ball Z abridged?
Yeah, but Mr. Popo in Dragon Ball Z is just a comic figure, isn't he?
I can't remember,
Anyway,
but I wouldn't be surprised. So yes,
finish.
Garnet goes Super Saiyan, and as such he is the ultimate warrior the ultimate Saiyan warrior that only appears once every 1,000 years. Apart from the fact that we've got about 10 now.
At least.
At least.
But you have to remember...
And Ringo is defeated.
Anyway. Yes.
Oh, what are we remembering? Or is it just another tangent that's not too important?
I was just going to say that... Dragon Ball tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Time travel exists, so causality means nothing.
Fair enough.
So then we get...
Oh yes, you were saying. Then we get...
the ending commentary by almost Stephen. I guess I'll call his voice actor in this. And so Stephen used the gem to return the Foxman to his original form. And as for Ringo, he stayed trapped in the Ringo Zone forever. That day, Garnet learned a valuable lesson. That being strong was about more than just how many mountains you could punch in half. It was about love. And there is no greater love than Garnet's love for Stephen. And then you came back here. And I got you, and you were blind. And that's what you did today.
And then Garnet says, yes, that's pretty much what happened.
Really?
No.
The end.
And that's something which I want to kind of just comment on. Because that's something which I've tried to do. It's just like, you just like say, yes. Or just, you kind of say something, expecting someone else to say, what, really? And then you just like shoot them down. It's like, no, that's not what happened in the slightest. What would Garnet have done if Stephen didn't like ask, really? It's like, are you sure? Is that actually what happened?
Well...
Because it's like, I don't know, it's a thing which it needs to be scripted, because if you ever do it in real life, if you ever try to set someone up like that, then it's just not going to work.
Well, first of all, I think, Stephen was so hyper excited by the awesomeness of his story that Garnet confirming it for him would have, caused him to react. And secondly, even if she hadn't, she sounded sarcastic enough anyway.
Yeah, but she should know that Stephen wouldn't have caught that.
Stephen does not understand sarcasm.
Hmm.
But yeah, so this basically was a mashup of Dragon Ball Z, Samurai Jack.
I think it was closer to Dragon Ball rather than Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I know we get the Super Saiyan, but just like the whole style and the whole kind of feel of the show felt more Dragon Ball-y than Dragon Ball Z.
Fair enough. I mean, when I say Dragon Ball Z, I just mean the Dragon Ball series.
Fair enough.
And, the weighted hair was pretty damn funny.
Mm-hmm.
Though, was that a Dragon Ball thing or was that a Naruto thing?
I think it's just kind of like an anime type thing, because there was in Dragon Ball we've got Piccolo, and he like always wears the weighted clothing that he kind of takes off, and it's like,
well, he wears his,
and then also
he has his weighted cape, and Goku has his weighted clothes.
Oh yeah, he does in certain. I forgot about that, but he does do that sometimes.
In the earlier Z stuff, he wears weighted clothing. I think that was just an excuse for him to take his shirt off more than anything.
And then...
But then, of course...
Oh. I was going to say, in Naruto, Rock Lee does, like, wear... Say again?
No, I just said the name with you.
Rock Lee. He wears weights as well, for the most of the time, as part of his training, and, like, when he's fighting with Gaara the first time in the Chunin exam, he kind of takes them off, and it's just like... And it's like, ugh. So yeah, it's just like a thing that pops up quite a lot.
I mean, that's the only times I know about it, but I imagine it's just kind of a martial arts thing.
Hmm.
But on the note of the tuning exams, I pretty much stopped watching Naruto after that, and I don't particularly like Naruto. But that fight scene between Rock Lee and Gaara is one of the most amazing fight scenes ever made.
It definitely was. It's definitely up there, yeah.
I watch a lot of martial arts. I watch a lot of martial arts movies, and I watch a fair amount of martial arts anime. You know, it's not my main genre, but it's, you know, third. That's up there.
Hmm.
I mean, probably the best fight scene ever was IP Man 2. That extended fight scene with the Masters.
I think that's
which I've sent to you.
Yeah. Basically, they're just kind of in a bar, they're all talking, and then they kind of fight on an upturned table. Or just like a...
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's an upturned table. And then Sammo Hung and Donnie Yen fight, and Sammo Hung breaks the table in half, but the two of them flip it so it lands on the chairs around the table.
I don't know, just... Yeah. If you just search, like, probably Ip Man versus the Masters...
Ip Man 2... Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. It's a very good fight.
Mm. To be honest, you know, they're both fine martial artists. I mean, but I really like Sammo Hung. He's an excellent martial artist.
He's the chubby one.
Well, come on. He was martial law.
I was going to say, he's martial law. He's great. I loved him in that. He's brilliant.
That was my first exposure to, you know, martial arts as a kid.
I think I was watching Jackie Chan before that, but...
I've never really got into Jackie Chan. That's the thing.
Even his early stuff, because I think his early stuff is really... Well, his kind of early... Well, because he did do like a few...
His early Americans... You mean his early American stuff, not his early Hong Kong stuff?
I don't know what to suggest, because I'm just trying to think of the ones which I watched when I was young. I remember watching Who Am I, that I quite liked, but also kind of didn't really get into that much, because it was quite serious.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now that's probably one of my more favourite ones. But then also The Drunken Master, which I've watched when I was a bit older. That is just an amazing film. I love watching Drunken Master. I might even have only watched it once, but it's definitely a great film. And I think that was like one of his earliest ones.
Yeah, that's during his Hong Kong period.
And then also like Police Story. I think the first one is great. I'm not sure if I've seen the third one. And I think the second one was pretty good as well. But
I mean, I know about these films, and I've been meaning to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, I went from martial law, and I was like, this is really, you know, being like little 8-year-old me being, this is so awesome, and then my brothers were like, no, watch this shit, and I was introduced to Bruce Lee.
I'm not even sure if I've seen any Bruce Lee films. Again, my education is incomplete, blah blah blah. Dan, what are you doing?
It's fine, you know. I don't know Jackie Chan, you don't know Bruce Lee, it's fine. But, you know, so...
But I know that both of them put their names to Pokemon.
But, so what my brothers did for me was they would record Bruce Lee movies when they were on TV late night. You know, like on Channel 4, on old VHSs. And I treasured those for years and wore them out, because I watched them so much. I think I've still got a working version of Enter the Dragon.
Nice.
But yeah, so you know, that's why I don't think I got into like Jackie Chan stuff, because I was like, no, martial arts is serious. It's about beating people
serious business.
Yellow.
It's about punching It's about punching people so hard that their souls explode.
Exactly. But then, after watching all that Bruce Lee stuff, I then really got into the animated Jackie Chan adventures.
They were very fun.
Come on, Uncle!
And one more thing! I actually started rewatching that like a while ago. I think I only watched like the first season, but it's I don't know, it's very silly.
Does it hold up?
I think Jade is a lot more annoying now. Which is saying something. I'm not sure. If you're young, it probably still stands up, but like watching back as an adult, it's well, as an adultish, as a young adult. That's what I'll say.
As a pretend adult.
As a pretend adult, the kind of 20 to 29 period. I don't know. It's okay. You don't watch it because it's a good show. You watch it for nostalgia.
I mean, from what I remember, the early seasons were really good, but once you got really into the super spy stuff, it kind of got boring. And Jade and Paco always fighting.
Did Paco become like a mainstay character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched like just to the part where is it Shenron?
Yeah, he's a big bad.
Shenron. I think I kind of watched to the part where he actually does manage to steal all of the talismans, returns his physical form, and then is defeated by Jackie. And I think I might have watched a couple after that, but I don't know. I can't remember them that well. I think I just watched like up until that point, just up until the end of the first season, and I think that was still pretty good, but I can't remember if I just started watching more and just didn't get round to it, or just kind of gave up. But I don't know. It was fun. It was nice to kind of revisit it anyway.
It was worth the nostalgia.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough. So I think that's enough martial arts for now.
Yeah. So let's
to go alongside our new anime podcast, our martial arts podcast.
I don't have time for this many podcasts.
So what did you think of this episode?
It was kind of a nothing episode, but it was very sweet and very kind of, I don't know, it was kind of cartoony. It was fun. It was there's not much to say about it. It was kind of a fun episode, but nothing happens other than Steven being cute.
Yeah, which is are you not amused?
I'm kind of amused. Again, it was okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, it's such a shame that one of my favourite moments is in such a nothing episode. But this episode does kind of feel like a love letter episode.
To the fans?
Well, from the sort of creators to the stuff they love, and also kind of in a way from Steven to Garnet.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I think this is the real first episode where we see a maternal bond between Steven and the Gems.
No, I don't know. I can't really think of any specific examples, but I don't know. I think I've definitely picked that up before this episode.
Well, mainly between Pearl and Steven, let's be fair. I mean, the space race episode. There's kind of a bit of it there.
Actually, in Bubble Buddies, I think we get a bit of it there as well.
Really? Oh,
when just like
when they're constantly watching him.
When they're constantly watching him, when they get all excited about the fact that he's got a crush on this girl, when Garnet's like, "Don't interrupt his funky flow." I think like all of those moments, they're not really kind of like friendship episodes. They're kind of more familial kind of interactions.
Yeah, but sort of there's a difference between familial and maternal.
There is, but I don't know. That's kind of like the role that they fill, and also again the other Connie episode where the one which we just looked at last week, rather, when he's like, "Well, you're all my family." It's like,
oh yeah, fusion
if
cuisine.
I'm gonna have my dad and my mum, then I want all three of you to be there.
So they form one giant woman.
One giant freaky
multi-faced woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. So let's move on to Watermelon Steven.
Episode 34, Watermelon Steven.
Thank you. I needed you to say the name and the number.
I mean, you've only got, like, who directed it, who drew it, all of this stuff. You don't know the actual number. That's crazy.
Yeah, that would involve scrolling up. First aired November 20th, 2014. Written and storyboarded by Lamar Abrams and Helen Jo. Directed by Young So Jun. Presumably also in Jones Quarterly, standing in as supervising. So, this episode begins with Stephen and Greg eating watermelons outside the car wash.
Because that's what fathers and sons do. Eat watermelon.
Well, they're kind of hanging out, having fun.
Mm.
And then Stephen makes an Amadeus reference.
Yep, because he knows who Mozart is.
Well, I assume he was referencing the movie.
That's a bit more likely.
But even I haven't seen the movie.
I haven't seen the movie. I've seen clips of the movie.
I've seen the music video Rock Me Amadeus.
I don't think... Was that... Did that use footage from Amadeus?
I don't know. Just a
Me
really
neither.
good music video.
It's a really good song.
Have you seen the music video?
A while ago. I don't know.
Well,
It was fun.
it involves bikers and Renaissance ladies. Anyway, so basically Stephen and Greg are having a contest to see who can do the strangest thing with watermelon seeds.
Mm-hmm. And Stephen wins.
Yeah, but as someone who, doesn't eat, is this something you normally do with watermelons?
It's something which people often do in cartoons with watermelons. I just pick the seeds out and eat the fleshy stuff. The fleshy, delicious insides.
I believe it's called the meat.
The meat of the watermelon.
Yes. I've only ever had watermelon once, and that was in too civilized a context to spit out seeds.
Mm. No, you don't spit them out. You pick them out beforehand, or just I don't know. I think you can actually eat them. I don't think it's dangerous or anything.
I assume it's the same situation as like apple seeds.
Yeah. But my main kind of basis for all this playing with watermelon seeds, I think it's mainly like Tom and Jerry, cartoons like that, where they just kind of eat like a watermelon and then kind of do like a railgun kind of bullet spray.
Oh yeah, I've seen that a couple of times.
I'm not sure if it's specifically Tom and Jerry or if it was from a different cartoon, but it's that kind of style, that kind of animation that it's definitely seen it from.
Yeah, no, I when you say it, I recognise I watched a lot of Tom and Jerry as a kid. Yeah, that's definitely in there. Well, you have to remember Tom and Jerry, a lot of stuff was made in the 30s. So there's actually a lot of surprisingly good blues and jazz in Tom and Jerry cartoons if you find the right ones.
Mm-hmm. But no cigars.
Well,
Well, it depends. I don't know. I think... I'm not sure. But I remember hearing
I don't think you're...
Oh, carry on.
You never see Tom smoke a cigar, I'm pretty sure.
I think he has done. There are definitely other characters who smoked cigars, but I remember hearing that they were kind of edited out because smoking isn't healthy and shouldn't be promoted by cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Especially not Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, well, everything...
Who didn't have that advert where he was saying, smoke, it's good for your health. Doctors agree.
Yeah, that didn't show on his show for 10 years. But yeah, everything's been edited out of cartoons over the years.
Mm.
Hell, there's a cut of E.T. where they replace all the guns with walkie-talkies.
There is.
That's a real thing that exists in the world.
Which is kind of weird, but yeah.
Mm.
People do what people do.
Yeah. Anyway, back to
yes. They have the contest. Stephen wins.
Yes, with his hurricane spin spit maneuver.
And then he is crowned the Watermelogist.
Yes. And, then they laugh and fall asleep.
And then they wake up covered in watermelon juice and flies because they're disgusting, disgusting humans.
It's an horrifying image. Stephen waking up in the...
It's kind of a gross... It's kind of a gross scene. It's kind of a gross image.
Yeah, it's like the juice is still dripping down his head or is congealed.
And you can just I don't know, I don't like it if I've had like fruit juice stuck on me for a few seconds, because I already can just like feel it's like sugary and sticky and gross. This has been on them all night. Can you imagine?
Yeah, Stephen Fellis. Can you imagine what that's done to his hair?
Nothing good.
I mean, he has frizzy hair. You can tell I've had long hair my entire life, but my first thought is, but what about the hair? That'll be terrible to comb out.
No, my first thought is, oh my god, that's sticky and gross.
Gross.
Never be clean, never be clean.
Burn it all. So anyway, Stephen wakes up and he's surrounded by watermelons.
Yes, because they've all grown overnight.
And they all look like Stephen.
Which is not terrifying.
Now, I also want to point out, Greg is not in this initial scene.
So Greg went inside to sleep.
Well, did he go inside to sleep, or did he wake up, not notice the watermelons, and go in to get coffee?
Both of those are... both of those could have happened.
Because the next scene, sometime later, once the gems have arrived, Greg's like, what is this?
Oh my god, this is gross.
Well, to be fair, he does step on the chest of a watermelon that looks like his son.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah. But, so they all look like Stephen, and it's revealed Rose could grow sentient life, plant life to defend her.
Yeah. Which I think we've kind of seen before. There was the sentient moss that ate people.
And then there was the brambles at the shrine to Rose's tears, that I can only assume Pearl built.
Yeah, I think they do actually say that they were Pearl's plants.
Rose's plants, you mean?
That's what I meant. Yeah. See, we've been doing this for months, and I still don't remember Rose's name. That's how bad I am with names.
I feel like we should sort of get pictures of all of the characters for your house with their names on little plaques so you can memorize them.
No, I just need...
flashcards?
I need flashcards for when we do the podcasts. That's all I need.
But you'll lose the flashcards.
Just do flashcards, take a picture of them, put them on the laptop, have them open in a window.
Okay, I'm just going to make you an image with the character's face and name. Set that as your desktop background. Anyway, so Stephen decides the best way to deal with this is to sell the watermelons. Excluding the baby melon.
Because it's so cute?
It is tiny and cute.
Because it's tiny and cute.
So, after bribing Mr. Smiley, we meet Sadie in casual mode.
Yes, and there's no douchebag connected to her.
So it's an infinitely more enjoyable scene.
Yes it is.
Oh, also first we learn that Stephen owns other clothes. Because he's wearing overalls and a straw hat.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure. Because these are dress-up clothes. These aren't casual. These aren't civvies. These aren't civilian clothes. This is for when he's going to fancy dress parties.
As a farmer.
Yeah. Where do you think he got that? Where do you think he got that bit of wheat from? Around Beach City.
Wild wheat?
No. It's not real. It's all part of the costume. It's the only logical explanation.
I'll actually grant you that. That's well thought out. Also, I do imagine Stephen has a lot of dress-up clothes.
Me too.
He seems like that kind of kid.
So yeah, Sadie's like, yeah, I'll buy a watermelon from you. Which Stephen is confused by. He doesn't know that in business you actually have to sell things for money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we kind of get the idea that he was just going to give them away because he doesn't work for money, he works for smiles on faces, as was stated in Frivo? Or just because it's Sadie, and, it's Sadie?
I'm pretty sure he had no idea about selling them.
He was working for the smiles on faces.
Which,
is what he usually works for.
Yeah. I mean, he does say he was just going to give one to Sadie.
Yes, he didn't say he was just going to give them away. He said he was going to just give one to Sadie.
I mean,
So
I
I'm
just
not
assumed
sure.
he was going to give it to... I assume he was going to give one to each of his friends, but I assume everyone in Beach City he believes is his friend. Well, he believes they're his friends.
Everyone
They
apart
think
from
he's-
Lars.
No, he thinks Lars is his friend. Lars does
Oh.
not think Stephen is his friend.
Well, no, I think that everyone in Beach City is Stephen's friend, apart from Lars. Even the cool
I
kids
see.
like, Stephen.
But to be fair, Stephen is eminently likeable. And then our resident blogger comes in and blogs about the weird watermelons.
Yes, I believe that in the first kind of these 3 Ronaldo episodes, the one which we did last week, the one where you're talking about the whole snake conspiracy, I was like, nah, Ronaldo, he's cool, he's fine, there's nothing wrong with him. It's like, why would you dislike this guy? He's fun, he's quirky, he's a conspiracy theorist. It's an interesting thing to have. And now, 1 week later, and 3 episodes later, I'm like, just go away. God damn it, Ronaldo, go away. Please just go away. Just stop talking while you're typing. Stop reading what you're typing while you're typing it. Really slowly. Really annoyingly. Just go away.
Also, his actions in this episode are fairly reprehensible.
I don't even know what his actions are. It's like, yeah, Stephen, you're being weird. It's like, oh hey, Stephen, you're basically giving these away. Let me help you get people in so that you can sell them.
I was thinking about the autopsy later on.
That was a bit weird.
But yeah, but thanks to Ronaldo crowd boosting, because presumably everyone in the town follows Ronaldo because it's funny. He's the town idiot. Stephen sells all of his watermelons, and he gains 100 pieces of money.
Yep.
Now, it should be noted, while we are on the subject of Steven Universe money, they have a $3 bill in this universe.
Really? I thought it was all like $2 bills, and then they had like lots of silver coins that I assumed were dollars.
No, you see, Sadie hands Stephen 2 notes. One of them is a $3 bill, one of them is a $2 bill.
That is how you make $5.
And we have seen them in other episodes, but this is the first time I noticed it on the trivia.
Fair enough.
Yep, so after getting his 100 pieces of money, which may or may not be $100, because going by the logic we just discussed, I mean, that's what, 250?
I don't know.
Well, if half of them's 2, half of them's 3. Yeah, that's $250.
Yeah, but it could just be that he means like $100, because that would be like 100
He says
pieces. Yeah, but $100 is 100 pieces of money, and I don't think that's a stack of 100, like $2 and $3 notes.
Who knows? I just sort of like the idea that Stephen doesn't really have much clue when it comes to money.
No, I think we can safely assume that from this scene.
Though, what do you think he would have done with his 100 pieces of money? I like to believe he would have given it to Greg. Or Pearl. Whoever buys food.
Yes, whoever buys food.
But Onion appears. In fact, he gets out from underneath the table.
He does indeed, yeah. And he wants all of Stephen's 100 pieces of money.
Nope. He wants baby watermelon.
I think he just wants a watermelon, but Stephen has sold out. As we have stated, there's only one left, and it's baby watermelon.
Or baby melon, or baby melon. He has many names. But anyway, so Onion just does what Onion does and steals baby melon.
Yeah, because Onion is evil.
You haven't even got to the Onion episode yet.
Which will be fun.
Well, by that point in the series you'll have seen so many traumatizing things, you might have developed a thicker skin.
Maybe. But I don't know, if I was going to do that,
It is you.
It is me. And you'd have assumed that would have happened after Frybo and after Catfingers. If it was going to happen.
Those are just weird. These are upsetting.
Well, from what I understand from the Tumbleverse, it's just going to get more and more upsetting as time goes on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Crying breakfast friends was a promise.
Yay.
Anyway, so Stephen chases Onion, because that's the only way to deal with Onion, is to chase and beat him.
Well, I think it's... Wait a second. No, I think I'm imagining things. Ignore me.
Ignore me.
Ignore me. He chases after Onion.
And then Baby Melon comes to life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Baby Melon does.
Yes.
Because, he needs to get away from Onion. Because who knows what kind of sick experiments Onion would do. So then we go and see Ronaldo, who's doing sick experiments on watermelons.
Well, not quite.
No, I think we see Mr. Smiley first.
Oh no, we have Stephen's like, "You're alive?" Really, I should have just expected that.
Yeah.
And they hug.
He shouldn't be as shocked as he is.
And then they hug, and then they go all round town, retrieving the watermelon Stephens and returning the money.
Mm-hmm.
Nice bit of continuity in this sequence. We see a billboard for Dogcopter 3.
Wait, say that again?
During the sequence, we see a billboard for Dogcopter 3.
I completely missed that.
But then we go to the Fryman establishment, where Ronaldo is about to perform a mutant watermelon autopsy.
Yeah, because it's weird gem stuff. It's for the blog.
Yeah, and then Stephen bursts in, and Ronaldo has a really whiny line. "Stephen, get out of here! You're gonna ruin my web exclusive!"
Yes. God. I am so glad that we don't produce content for the internet.
We don't produce web exclusives.
No. But still, it's just... anyone who produces things for the internet, it's just gross. Why would they do that?
Yeah. Truly awful. Also,
awful people. Dregs of society.
Also, on a side note, Ronaldo's autopsy tools are neither medical grade nor efficient for this scenario. He has a spatula and a hand mixer.
How does he... Yeah, and you don't use spatulas for cutting things open. He could have at least got a sharp knife. I mean, they do fries, but I think they do probably burgers as well. So
no, they just do fries, I think.
Okay.
Well,
actually, what did he use when he was peeling potatoes? Because I think it was a knife.
No, it was a potato peeler.
Still, even a potato peeler would probably be better for a watermelon autopsy than a spatula and a hand mixer.
Though it is a griddle spatula, so those are fairly sharp.
Okay. I'm just kind of used to normal ones.
Well, you know, they're the ones that have got the really flat edge, so they get flat down against the griddle.
Yeah, I used to have one of those, but like when my mum moved out, she took it because it was the nice one.
Yeah, then. You know, it's not like he's using a baking spatula.
Which is what I have now, I think. Which is it's just not as good.
Yeah.
So yes,
Especially the rubber.
ignoring my cooking utensil preferences,
Yeah.
Stephen
But anyway.
tries to get the melon back, but Ronaldo's like, no, go away. It's mine. I bought it.
And then he has an honestly creepy line here.
Yeah,
Right.
because Stephen's like, but it's alive.
Not for long.
And then just kind of low angle shot, shadow, just with the hand mixer.
Yeah, and that even worse it, I think, at that point.
Mm.
And then, you know, the watermelons attack.
Well, actually, no, because I think Stephen goes to grab it, but then Ronaldo smacks his hand away with the spatula. It's like, dude, what the hell did you just do? And then they make kind of weird screeching noises with their melon mouths.
They kind of hiss.
It's a weird sound.
And then you just see the watermelons ineffectively punching and kicking Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem like it hurts that much because he's not like ow, ow, ow. He's just like, Stephen, is my camera getting this?
Stephen adjusts it.
It's like, I'll get help. Adjust camera. Get help.
I think they're even holding Ronaldo's arms behind his back. It's pretty funny. So Stephen runs away with Baby Melon to enlist the aid of the Gems, all of whom are reading the newspaper.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Which is weird. Why were they... I don't know, are they like searching for weird... Well, are they searching for gem news, essentially? Are they searching for weird, kind of unexplained events that could only be explained by them because it's gem stuff rather than human stuff?
Yeah, I assume they were doing something different, and then they just sort of got the newspapers up to cover their actions from Stephen. Because they must have had him running up the stairs.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Either that, or maybe Pearl just genuinely likes the business section, and Amethyst likes the funnies.
I did kind of assume that Amethyst might be on the comics.
I don't know what Garnet would read. There's no section about herself.
Well, it depends, because I'm not kind of sure entirely what the powers of her third eye are, but I think that if Garnet was reading the newspaper, it would be looking for gem information.
Maybe.
Because, like, if we think about the gem that contained the storm, that's kind of a big kind of natural event that humans would take notice of and possibly write about in newspapers. So I don't think it's too far a stretch for us to assume that Garnet was searching for information.
Maybe. Who knows why they were reading the paper?
I don't. I'm just guessing.
Maybe they were looking for things for Stephen, because they list like for sale stuff in papers sometimes.
They do. So maybe, but I'm not sure.
Who knows? Or maybe they're just trying to get more in touch with people. So anyway, Stephen explains. While they're simultaneously proud he has this new power, they're also disappointed that he can't control it.
Which is true.
And
But he's still young.
Yeah, I mean, by their standards, he's nothing.
He might as well not even be born yet.
Yeah. So, they go outside and there is a watermelon army assembled, looking for their leader.
And I can't remember who attacks first.
Well, Pearl pushes Stephen into the house.
And then they
To
attack.
which... Well, then the watermelons hiss, and then the gems attack. So, I think we consider the watermelons the aggressors in this scenario.
But I think in their idea they were defending Stephen.
Yes, but so were the gems.
Well, I think like on the part of the watermelon, they were born today.
Yeah, I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt, and the gems should just allow their leader to, lead.
Yeah.
Because, not to spoil anything, but the gems are defeated. So the... oh yeah, there's a good Amethyst line. She's like, "Bring it on, melons!"
Yep.
Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan.
And the others just kind of go around and punch and stab things.
Well, it's also shown some additional attacks.
Yeah, which I only really remember Pearl's additional attack, where she kind of summons a beam of white light and then kind of blasts it off at people.
She gets an energy blast. Garnet gets rocket fists,
Which I'm not sure if she's had before.
I think this is the first instance of. So that makes 3 attacks she has.
Which is a fair few.
Which does make sense, given the number of people she is.
This is also true.
And Amethyst has a sonic spin dash.
A Sonic what?
Spin dash.
What's one of those?
You know Sonic 3, the power attack you have?
Yes.
The charge attack?
Yeah.
That's what she has. Where she kind of like turns into a spiky ball and zooms at the enemy.
Cool.
Yeah. So we get a pretty good fight scene, to be honest.
But I think this is kind of like another example of gems being nerfed because the story demands it.
I think the biggest problem is we never see how many watermelons there are. There's always kind of a nebulous number.
Because I think there's definitely more when they get back more than they sold. Because they only sold like 20. But there's definitely more than 20 here.
And, sort of I could totally see the gems being piled under by numbers. Especially Pearl and Amethyst, though I don't think Pearl is actually piled under, she's just kind of exhausted from killing all of them.
Yes, that could be right.
I mean, it looks like there's literally hundreds on Garnet. Also, there's a weird sort of artistic moment where all of these watermelons are piled on Garnet, and she sort of bursts up, and it sort of stays in that position for a moment, and you see all these watermelons flying around her. Do you remember the moment I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's actually a reference to a piece of classical sculpture.
With watermelons?
No, with children.
Because that's less creepy?
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's classical sculpture, but sort of... It's a, called the Frogner Park Baby Fighter statue in Oslo, Norway.
Okay.
So, there's a comparison on the wiki, and it really looks like it.
Oh, that's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as we've discussed on the show before, there are allusions to various bits of art in the show, which I really like. I mean, our discussion in Giant Woman went on for so long.
It did.
But anyway, so Pearl is sort of just exhausted from fighting all these melons, and she calls them a twerp. Calls them twerps.
She does use a not very nice term.
That's a weird term to use.
But it's kind of an old one, so maybe good.
And Amethyst is sort of on the ground, and 2 watermelons are digging a hole to bury her in.
Yeah, and she's like, oh no, the flowers, they're beautiful.
Yeah, a 3rd watermelon comes in carrying a bouquet of purple flowers. It's such a weird moment.
It kind of is. It's like, so, you want to set fire to things? Here's a load of sticks that will be, well, I was going to say, increase your chance of reduce your chance of getting cancer. And it's just like but she's in here for something completely different.
Yeah. I don't... Also, would be burying them in a hole be much of an impediment for Amethyst?
I don't know. I don't know about preservation of anything.
Well, they don't need to breathe.
That's true.
But anyway, Stephen and Baby Melon are sort of at the back of the crowd, horrified by this turn of events. Rightly so.
And they start to get overwhelmed.
Well, the gems are, yes. And Stephen doesn't know what to do. So Baby Melon sacrifices himself.
He does. It's the only way.
I mean,
and he does this by punching Stephen in the gut.
Yeah, causing Stephen to collapse. And then, quite a nice bit of animation, sort of, Baby Melon sort of stands there, arms up, sort of arms wide. Slow motion of the watermelons jumping on him.
Mm-hmm. All they were missing was like the intense music.
Yeah. Well, that sort of Aria-esque moment you get. And then Stephen sort of pushes through and gets to the destroyed Baby Melon and berates his followers. Look what you've done!
Yeah. Which is kind of cool, but it's a bit weird. I don't know.
You know, he understood true loyalty.
Don't come back until you have learnt the same.
Yes.
But still play Magic the Gathering with us.
He doesn't say that.
No,
but,
just about the sandwiches. Just about the sandwiches.
He doesn't say anything about sandwiches.
Damn it, I'm tired.
Yes, you are. So, Stephen sends them off. They, go off into the ocean, across the land.
Yes, across the sea.
And Garnet says, "Spoken like a true king."
Mm-hmm.
To which Stephen replies, "They don't need 'em, king. They're their own melons now."
Yes, and
then Stephen eats a bit of Baby Melon.
Yeah, that was a weird...
I think they wanted to end on a joke.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And it's kind of a Stephen thing to do. But what I kind of thought was it's a very Homer Simpson thing to do.
Yeah, I can really see that.
Like, the main example I think of, or like what kind of came to my mind was... There's that one episode where Homer gets the pet lobster. So he's like...
Pinchy!
He's like, if I get this tiny lobster, feed it until it grows, then I'll be able to eat it. Then it kind of becomes a pet, a member of the family. And towards the end it's like, oh no, I just kind of ran Pinchy a nice hot bath for him to relax in. It's like, oh no, what have I done? And then he's like, I need to eat all of this lobster. It's the way that Pinchy would have wanted it.
Yeah, and he eats it throughout the entire ending credits.
While he's crying profusely.
Yeah. You see, I was thinking of when Homer's in space.
Mm-hmm.
And he opens the crisp packet.
And the crisps just go everywhere?
Yeah. Da 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 da. Hum 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 hum.
I'm not sure if that relates to watermelons, but it kind of... I don't know. He does eat anything.
Though that was a good reference, yes. Well done. So yes. And that's the end of Watermelon Stephen.
Which is very good.
Nearly the end
I still
of this
don't
episode.
know why I was talking about sandwiches.
Neither do I, Dan. Neither do I.
I don't know. I was falling asleep and just for some reason I was half asleep, I was half dreaming, and sandwiches were on my mind.
And I wanted to record earlier.
You did, but I was in town. I was doing things. I've been doing house maintenance today. I think mainly it's doing work in the garden that's kind of got me...
Yes, because you went outside and everyone knows that the outside is bad.
Well, no, I went outside and then I went outside into the garden and did gardening work.
Mm-hmm.
Or yard work. I think that's how it's known across the pond. And yard work is much more exhausting
don't care about
than
across
just
the pond.
Okay. Gardening is much more exhausting than just kind of walking into town. And all of the other cleaning jobs I've been doing today. But I don't know. People don't want to hear about that. Say again?
Isn't your garden just a lawn?
No, not really.
I've only ever seen your garden at night from across the room. Trying to ignore it. Because I was being so thoroughly beaten at whatever board game we were playing at the time.
Yes. So was I. Oh, well, the way that our board games always go. It's like, oh no, Dan's winning. Quick, destroy him.
Oh no, Ben's winning. How did we not see this?
Quick, destroy him. Oh no, we spent all of our time and effort destroying Dan. I have no tricks left up my sleeve. Ben wins.
Yeah.
Seeing as this happens every single time, you'd imagine that we would have seen it coming by now.
To be fair, I
anyway,
played exactly the same strategy every game.
34. What did I think? I quite enjoyed it. I liked seeing Stephen's new powers. And I don't know. We saw Sadie again, which is cool. We saw Onion again, which was cool, maybe. We saw Mr. Smiley. We saw all the background characters. We saw Ronaldo, which I'm getting tired of Ronaldo now. I'm not even sure if we've had. It's a cool episode. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I want them to do more space stuff. This is just kind of Stephen doing his. It's gem powers. It's gem related. It's all really cool. It's kind of introducing new powers for him because. Well, yeah, it's kind of the things that Rose used to do, and again, it's just kind of Stephen kind of coming into his own powers and growing as a gem, and that's really cool, and I really enjoy that. Anything else to say about this episode? I don't know. Again, it kind of starts off with Greg and Stephen, and that's always fun to watch. But yeah, it's kind of spoiled by Ronaldo. I am getting very tired of him.
I really liked this episode. It was a good, fun episode. Some good action and some interesting gem stuff. But yeah, no real problems with this episode other than a few out-of-character moments. I think Ronaldo was a bit not quite his usual self.
Thank you for listening. This has been episodes 33 and 34 of Steven Universe. This has been our Steven Universe Rewatch Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.